All right, bonus number one. Let's talk about, so you got all of this thing done and you actually won the project. How do you get paid? I mean, that's a pretty important thing. One of the ways I start is by my posture. And I don't mean by how I stand. I mean, where am I? I used to have a sign in my very first studio that said, "This is not a rehearsal. We are professionals. This is the big time." And that's the attitude I've always had. That's my posture. So when I go in to work with somebody, that's the way I walk in the door. It's a really different thing than coming in as somebody who's hungry for work and will do anything to get a credit. So you need to look at your posture when you're coming in, because believe it or not, that sets up how you'll get paid in the long run. Training your clients, we talked about that. One of the things I do is train my clients that the way they approve a project is with a deposit. And the shakier the client, the more secure the deposit has to be. A big corporation, I will take an invoice as a deposit. Smaller companies, I want a check. If it's somebody I don't know and things are really shaky, I may even want certified funds. I've done that before. That's part of my posture of making sure I've already invested a lot just to create the pre-production work that I had to do to get a bid put together. I'm behind the curve. I don't want to get further behind the curve as we go down the production path. So you got to train your clients on how to make sure you get paid. I'm not a bank, so I'm not willing to bankroll my customers. As I work with corporate clients and I'm taking invoices with pay dates and all of that, okay, so I do need to be able to handle my cash flow for that. But on normal projects, I'm not a bank. My terms are my terms, your terms are your terms, and your client's terms are their terms. It's really good to understand what's negotiable and what's not for you and for them. I mean, I found clients that are willing to give payment. If you'll give them a 2% discount for early payment, they'll pay in 15 days. I mean, some accounting departments, that's just automatic. So you really need to look at all of these factors when you're negotiating something, because it can actually affect your price. You can decide you have to push the price up to be able to live with their terms. And then there's lawyers and standard contracts. A lot of people don't like it, but I think it's worth looking at standard contracts. There's good reason for using those because they do protect people. And if you don't have a standard contract, even if you do, you need to get it with a lawyer who can help you understand what happens when something goes one way or the other. And that needs to happen before you're in trouble. Lawyers are like loans. You need to have one before you need it. And then there's the financial responsibility that goes with all of this. You take a payment from somebody for part of a project, something happens, you need to be able to buffer that so that you can handle all of these things as they're going through, particularly when you're hiring other people on the crew. Bonus number 2, the tax man cometh. Yeah, all of this financial stuff made me think about the tax implications of all of this. In some places, archives of customer assets may be taxable as personal property. That wasn't in your budget, I'm sure. You didn't expect to have to pay taxes on all of these archived digital assets, but in some places, boy, they are expensive for sure, and some places tax you as personal property. You need to understand the difference between contractors and employees and how to make sure that the contractors you hire, or if you are hired as a contractor, that all the rules are kept clear and payments are made and things are handled well. If you work with established companies, that's no problem. But it's just something to be aware of, because all you need is one mistake here and there, and then you're doing a lot of explaining. My advice is be safe. Get good advice and keep lots of proof on what happened. So that's it. That's a nice overview of video pricing. I hope that's been useful for you. Drop by my website, subscribe. There's lots more good information there for you. And have a great day.